Welcome, my beloveds, to Of Water and Spirit. I am Camara. I'm a psychic medium, gifted with divine hearing and seeing. And this space is for channeled messages from our ancestors who are ancient, cosmic, and earthly. So here we'll honor only those who sit at the feet of spirit, the ones who walk in truth, protection, and divine alignment. Every message you hear is a ripple meant to reach the relatives that need it the most. So take only what flows for you and leave behind that which may belong to another lineage. Now let's begin our reading with our affirmation. May the clear waters of spirit carry only truth within us. May our ancestors speak with love and wisdom. May we remember who we are, of water and spirit. Now let's listen to what the ancestors are whispering today. Thank you, my loves. So, it only felt right to invite in our grandfathers for a message from our grandfathers. And so we have 3 different piles. We have group number 1, which is the elder. We have group number 2, which is Father Sky. And we have group number 3, which is the sage. So, my beloveds, take a moment to align with whatever group you feel called to. You may feel called to more than one. And the timestamps will be in the description box as well as the comments. And I look forward to seeing you in your reading. Take care. Welcome, my beloveds of group number 1. This is your message from the grandfather. You chose the elder. And here it says, I'm going to move it up close so you might be able to see. Move beyond ancestral patterns. And I wanted to take a moment to read what the book says. This is from the Angels and Ancestors deck. It says, move beyond limitations that have been set for you by family members of past and present. Know that the energy of your spirit is more powerful than genetics or behavioral patterns. The Aboriginal people are the oldest tribal people still living on this planet. Their hunter-gatherer culture and ancient spirituality are rooted in tradition and balance with the earth. So the Aboriginal ancestors are offering you not only wisdom that will help you heal and adapt to this ever-changing planet, but also an understanding of what spiritual life should be. This elder is the ancestor who comes with a message of healing change. So what I immediately am tapping into group number 1 is that this grandfather, they're saying right now even that there were patterns that were introduced to the lineage that now have outgrown their use. And they may have never really had a really healthy use to begin with. Outside of just adapting and maybe trying to stay I'm hearing trying to survive even. So it's important, this grandfather is saying, that you understand that some adaptations by the family, some patterns that were adopted were purely out of survival, and they had nothing to do with your family's ability to heal, your family's ability to have loving relationships with each other. Because fundamentally, this grandfather is saying your family is blessed. Your family is, I'm even hearing prosperous, even if you can't see it right now. So, this elder grandfather, I believe that for some of you, you may be attracted to a more ancient energy that's being embodied by this grandfather. Maybe for some of you, you may even come from a family that has an indigenous background, and that doesn't only have to be from one country. We have indigenous people all around the world. So, this grandfather has a message for you. It says, you are so much closer to a powerful breakthrough than you may realize. You have been praying for things to heal, new opportunities to appear, relationships to improve, and these prayers will soon be answered. Very beautiful. I think this grandfather is coming forward to say the ancestors of your lineage have been hearing your request. And if you haven't been directing some of your request, or what I say with ancestor work is we don't pray to our ancestors, we pray with them. So this grandfather is also requesting for some of you who are attracted to this group that you do start to communicate more with your ancestors, that you formulate a practice where you all get together and pray together. There's something about praying together with the family, even if other family members are open to it. Sometimes, this grandfather is saying, we are the first ones to remember our ancestors in the family. The family has maybe gotten so distant away from ancestral practices that you are the one, group number one, that is remembering this call. And so you may be the one that has to bring back certain traditions. And if you don't remember those traditions, then you are tapping into your intuition to create new traditions, traditions that include your ancestors. They say they have so much. I always hear them as a they, so, it's not a singular grandfather, but they say they have so much to share with you. And they need to hear from you. They want to hear what has been happening in the family. Yes, they can observe things, but they think there's a closer relationship you begin to develop when you come to them and you talk to them, not just with your request, not with just everything that is wrong, but you come to them and you talk to them about your daily going ons. Like this morning, I'm going to get ready and take the kids to school, and I am going to go to work and work on this project. It could be as mundane as that, these grandfathers are saying, or it could be very specific. These two people in the family are not getting along, and I really need your help in opening up the path for them to communicate. So there is something there that this grandfather says they can assist you on. I have always been taught by my teachers that our ancestors want the bloodline to survive. That's how you know if you're communicating with ancestors who sit at the feet of spirit, because they will assist you and they want to assist you in healing the family. Let's go and get another card for you, group number one. What else do you want to say, grandfather? Yeah. So grandfather brought forward the generosity card. It says, your presence is a gift. Respect yourself and others. What you share returns tenfold. There is enough for everyone. Trust in abundance. Wow, look at that. Your fathers are saying that the family might be going through a period where there are some people in the family that might be struggling. And while everyone in the family may not be doing overly abundantly well, this grandfather says that you need to trust in the abundance of the family. For someone, your grandfather energy wants you to take care of someone who's in need, and that your generosity is part of the healing of the family. But it must be done, because I keep getting that word respect. It must be done with respect. Not everyone who needs help is a freeloader. Not everyone who needs help is somehow a harmful person or damaging. I don't know why, but for someone who's listening to this, there is a child involved in a situation. And they're calling you forward to be of assistance. You may not, at the level that you can give. That is what I'm also hearing from your grandfather. At the level that you can give. But this is a family member, they're saying. More messages from your grandfather. Yeah. The grandfather is saying that it is very important right now that you be very careful with the words that you use. There's such a high intensity right now on the entire globe. People are anxious, people are stressed out. And sometimes we can use words because we're stressed out. And your grandfather is saying, be very conscious with those words. I don't know why I'm hearing children are listening. So make sure that you slow down when you're talking. Make sure that you are really including spirit in your communications. Your grandfather is saying, make sure that you are gentle, loving, and kind, even when you find it difficult to be. Interesting. Other messages. This grandfather is really focused on the relationships within the family. This grandfather says, it may be time to explore new ways for the family to connect. Sometimes we're so focused on work, we're so focused on building resources. This grandfather is saying, we forget to have fun. We forget that life is more than work, life is more than toil. And this grandfather is saying, not everything has to be this big production of money in order for the family to spend time together. And this grandfather is suggesting that maybe the family goes out into nature, maybe a day in nature, or maybe going camping, depending on the climate where you are. Or maybe this family gets together and they create. They paint together, they do some arts and crafts. This grandfather is so cute. He's like, I want you to all to get together like we used to in the old days. He's saying, he says, in the old days, we didn't have money, but we had a little bit of food. We had a little bit of music. We had ourselves, our happiness, our joy. And we also had spirit with us. His grandfather is they're even smiling while they're saying this. They have so much love for your family. I get that some of the people that are in group number 1, you come from a pretty large family, not a really small one. And they said, it's time for the family to value connection over presence, over what you can get. This grandfather, I think, is talking about upcoming holidays and saying, what if you reimagined those holidays? What if you really gave everybody what they truly needed, which was time together, connection, a time to come out of isolation, a time to not feel ashamed because of all the things that maybe in the outer world are impacting everyone's financial life. I don't know where you're from, group number 1, but grandfather is saying, we all have a bag of beans. Somebody else has a bag of rice. Someone else can make collard greens. They might be from the South. Like we all can contribute to a feast, but the biggest guest of the feast is ourselves and spirit. This has never been about outdoing each other with gifts. It's been more about taking time to connect and hear from each other the things that need to be heard. Some of you, this is a different family. Maybe you had a tradition of family gathering in a circle and doing some type of council work, like where everybody gets a chance to be heard, even the young ones, even the very old ones. Your grandfather is requesting you bring that tradition back, or maybe for some of you, you feel called to create that tradition. I'm going to, sorry, I'm reaching for my cards here. Lastly, let's pull some tarot cards for this group. I really feel like this is such a loving grandfather energy. So this was, if you knew this grandfather when they were in their 3D life, they were always smiling. Huh? They were always smiling. They had their eyes even smiled. Their eyes were smiling eyes. What else in these last few messages, grandfather, do you want to say to family of group number 1? Any other final messages? Yeah. We have 7 of Wands. We have King of Wands. And we have Queen of Pentacles in reverse. The grandfather is speaking specifically about a relationship between 2 people. And the grandfather is saying, it's time to stop defending yourself. I think what the grandfather is meaning too is that it's time to stop being defensive. Someone in the relationship is defensive and someone feels attacked. This doesn't have to be a marriage between 2 people. It could be 2 siblings. Take it where it resonates. But both of you, whoever you are in the family, you both have very powerful positions in the family. You're a King of Wands and a Queen of Pentacles. The Queen of Pentacles, the grandfather says, the reason why the Queen of Pentacles came up upside down is that this Queen of Pentacles feels like they are shouldering a lot of financial responsibility and they don't want to be there. They're starting to feel scarcity and they need assistance. And so, this King of Wands who's upright, who's strong, the grandfather is saying, you are a powerful leader. Look at that lion in the back. Some of you might be a Leo. You don't have to be. You might be in Leo energy. But this grandfather is saying, you hold the staff, you hold the fire of the family. You carry the fire of the family. You have the ability to ignite the family, take them out of a sense of lack, bring together alternatives for the family to survive. And that will turn this Queen of Pentacles upright. And this Queen of Pentacles will feel more comfortable, will feel more at ease. But now in reverse, this Queen of Pentacles feels like they can't hang on to anything, especially their pentacle, meaning their resources, their money, maybe even a job. So there's something here that this grandfather really is bringing to everyone's attention in the lineage, that it's time to pull together and stop being defensive. Instead, hear each other, take time to listen, take time to talk. There are alternatives to everyone kind of being separate and suffering on their own. There's alternatives to get everyone's needs met. And group number 1, your grandfather says you come from such a strong family lineage, anciently. And it may not feel like it now. Things might feel a little dispersed, but this grandfather is calling you all back together, calling you all back together, because this grandfather keeps pointing to the children. The children need the adults. So that is where I will leave it, group number 1. It's kind of heartfelt. I feel a little emotional reading this one. Your grandfather really is coming through with a lot of love and care. Definitely leave some kind of heart emoji in the comments if you really felt this one. And take care, my beloveds. We will move on shortly to group number 2. Hello, group number 2. This is Camara of Water and Spirit, and welcome to your reading, a message from the grandfathers. You chose Father Sky. How beautiful. As some of you may come from an American is, maybe I want to say North American continent-wise indigenous community. You don't have to, but let me read a little bit about what it says about Father Sky. This is coming from the Angels and Ancestors Oracle deck. The message: trust your path is unfolding exactly as it needs to. You have a personal relationship with the Great Father. Know that He is lovingly leading you forward. Father Sky is the name the Native Americans and other indigenous tribes have given to God. So this card represents the universal powers that are masculine in essence, the energies that people have called out to, look up to in times of need and gratitude. Father Sky personifies your relationship with the masculine energies of the divine and possibly a very powerful male or father figure, or in this case, a grandfather figure. You are a co-creator of your life, and every thought, feeling, intention, and emotion that you have is creating the road ahead. This grandfather, I'm going to say, group number 2, this grandfather's energy was one of somewhat of a patriarch, and not patriarch in the like patriarchy negative, but patriarch as in this grandfather was very well respected when they were in the earthly realm. They carried with them eagle medicine, I'm hearing. And eagle medicine, even if you're not Native American, um, it's the ability to see from a very high perspective. This grandfather was very wise, very revered. I think there was great loss when this grandfather died. I think when this grandfather left this earthly realm and transitioned, it may have destabilized the family a little bit because this grandfather provided so much structure for your lineage, for your family. And this grandfather is saying that, I'm going to say this, group number 2, and only take it where it resonates. For some of you, you lost this grandfather fairly recently. And his grandfather is coming through to say, and could be a father to someone, who's listening to this. This grandfather is saying you all need to trust in what is unknown. Trust yourselves. This grandfather says, yes, I may have been a leader of the family, but it does not mean that I did not teach you. It does not mean that you did not learn from me. And yes, some things are unknown right now. There is some family that is still in the pain of grief, and I'm sorry if this is you. But your grandfather is saying right now that you need to trust in the family's abilities, the family's power. This grandfather is coming through to say, we are of the one blood. I did not only carry this blood. This blood is inside of you as it was inside of me. Wow. I feel very emotional with these grandfather readings. Whew. This grandfather has a message for you. I'm also a Cancer, so it's easy for me to cry. But this grandfather has a message. What is your message, grandfather? Take some time to rest and rejuvenate. You need to pace yourself with the changes that are coming your way. They're all positive. Bigger and better things are coming for you. Just relax and trust. Wow. Trust in the unknown. Relax and trust. This grandfather, your grandfather, is saying that even though one chapter has closed, a new is beginning. But you will never realize that new chapter. You won't get the essence of the blessing as long as you are tired, as long as you have not restored yourself. This grandfather is saying your rest, your restoration is so important. For someone, it could be very specific. This grandfather is saying, throwing yourself into work and working just 24 hours around the clock is not the way. This grandfather wants you to restore yourself. Trying to distract yourself with work, it is not going to be the healing path for you. It's not going to be the healing path for the family. Someone in your family needs you emotionally, but you may not have the energy. And this grandfather is saying it's time for you to look at your health, look at the amount of sleep you're getting, look at what you're eating or get yourself back to eating well. Because his grandfather is saying to you ultimately, and I'm getting a channeled message very clearly from one grandfather's energy, the one that passed away recently. They're saying, I am not gone. My body is gone, but I am here. This grandfather is saying, I am here. Whew. Very deep energies, you all. For group number 2. What else, grandfather? Give me 1 minute to take a sip of water because this is deep. Whew. Okay. Opening. Heal old stories. Practice loving self-talk. Release personal judgment. You're limitless. Be authentic. Wow. You know, your grandfather's energies, group number 2, they're showing how you're being cracked open in this grieving period. You need to open up to your emotions, to your feelings. Do not stuff down the grief. For those of you who are grieving in this group, I really do think group number 2, this is a group that has been grieving the loss of this grandfather. So if it doesn't resonate, you may have another group. But this grandfather is calling for you to heal the old stories of the family, the old narratives. Because this grandfather says they recognize those narratives are opening up right now. And his grandfather says they are sorry for the parts that they contributed to when it comes to some of the family's pain. It's time to heal old stories, this grandfather is saying, to practice loving talk with one another. This grandfather says you all talk too harshly to each other, not in loving kindness. There's been a lot of judgment in the family. Maybe somebody blames themselves for this grandfather's loss, and this grandfather's like, no, this was my time. However, this grandfather left this world, this grandfather says, no, this was my time. And it is time for the family to share their pain with each other, share their grief with each other. And if for some reason someone finds that very difficult, this grandfather is saying, go and get some help. Maybe our family has never really relied on outside help, meaning maybe therapy or going to a clergy person, whatever way feels good for your family. But this grandfather is saying, seek out those who can help you access your emotions, who can help you process this this gap, this gaping wound. I hope you can see it. It's like a gaping wound. Whew. Yeah. What else, grandfather? Yeah, this grandfather is saying to trust your instincts. Someone truly does blame themselves for something, and this grandfather is saying you've allowed that to move into a place where you don't trust yourself any longer. And you've got to trust yourself. You really do. Leaning into those instincts, leaning into what you know from your heart is true. That's what this grandfather is saying. There's a lot of untruth in your pain, and you need to tap into the truth, the real truth of, I'm hearing what happened. So I'm not being told what happened. I think that's personal to your family. Yeah. You're being presented with the blue flame. I think this is something that they want me to read to you. One moment. Sorry, this was a book I didn't take out. Okay. So they want me to read to you Blue Flame, which is number 2. It says here, the blue flame is initiation. It connects us to our true divine nature. It helps us to share the light of love with the world. It says, dear one, it's time for you to take the next step and walk through the initiation and the purification of the blue flame. You've passed many tests. You've already gained many valuable lessons and insights. The gift of the blue flame is now upon you. It's your choice whether to embrace this light, because it's a divine light, or not. Embracing the light of the blue flame is always consciously choosing to walk a path of truth and integrity, to lead by example, to love unconditionally, to be of service without judgment. So there is something there. This blue light is the throat chakra. So there may be someone in the family, maybe all of you, that need to come together in conversation, in communication. The affirmation, your grandfather wants me to read it to you. I am ready to walk my truth, live with integrity, and shine my amazing light always. You know, this grandfather says it's important that you heal the old stories. This grandfather keeps pointing to that. It's important that the family work past some judgments, because the grandfather is saying you will find that some things the family, some people in the family believe they're just not true. And there's other people in the family that know the truth. So it's time to talk. It's time to gather with the family. Let's go to the tarot. The last few messages from this grandfather. Your last few messages, grandfather. Page of Pentacles, upright. It's a lot of cards, but let's see if we can sort through them. We have Page of Pentacles, and we also have Page of Wands that's in reverse. This grandfather is pointing to some young people in your family. Page could be a school-age child. It also can be a teenager. Could be a young adult. 3 of Wands in reverse. 7 of Pentacles in reverse. And the Emperor. This is very specific. Take it where it resonates. But this grandfather is saying that there are 2 young people in your family who need your attention. One is upright, meaning they're mostly doing okay. Um, but just because a child is doing okay doesn't mean that you don't pay attention to them. And this grandfather is saying it's not that you're not paying attention to them, but it's the kind of attention that they need. There's one that is upside down, one that's very impulsive, one that might be kind of stumbling on their path. And they're saying that, hmm, now is not the time to kind of run away. This is so specific, so just only take it if it resonates. But now is not the time for you to run away. And this is figuratively, the grandfather is saying. Now is not the time to stick your head in the sand and pretend things are not happening. There are money issues perhaps in the family. Maybe someone has not been able to work or work is becoming difficult. But ultimately, this is the last card. You are the emperor. Regardless of your gender, your grandfather is saying you are the leader of the family now. And you're upright here. So you've got to be strategic. This emperor holds a chess piece. And there's something about you having the ability to bring the family back together again, to make it more cohesive. This is your job, your grandfather is saying, and you are ready for it. There's a balance within you that you've got to remember, which is the balance of the masculine and the feminine, which your grandfather is saying maybe in their time they did not pay attention to enough. They may have ruled from a very masculine place, and they're saying you are different. You have balance within you. You are someone who has the ability to connect with their feminine within, as well as their masculine. And if you're not clear on what that means, it means that you can nurture as well as guide. And it is important here. That is, your grandfather is saying that's the most important message out of all of this, is that you are the one. And it's time for you to understand that. And if for some reason you have not been able to take this position in the family, he said it's not take. I might have said that. He says if you can't assume this role in the family, it's because you have some healing to do. But this role is yours. Whoa. Okay. Group number 2. If you resonate with this reading, please put a fire sign in the comments if this was your grandfather. It was so specific in some ways, but I hope that you did get what you needed to get from this message. Thank you so much. We'll take a moment and move on to group 3. Hello, group number 3. Welcome to your reading. This is Camara with Of Water and Spirit, and this is your reading on a message from the grandfathers. You chose the sage. Some of you may come from a South Asian community. You don't have to, but that's just coming forward. Your grandfather is saying, be devoted and committed. This grandfather, when they were alive, they might have been a writer or they liked to write. They're also saying for some of you who are open to it in group number 3 that they would like to engage with you doing automatic writing. And there's a form of that where you can sit down, maybe in front of a picture of your grandfather, or maybe you can sit in front of an altar if you have one. And this grandfather says that you can tap into their energy and begin to write down messages that you are hearing. It's a form of automatic writing, but they're inviting you to do that if you're open to it. You don't have to if it doesn't resonate with you. Hmm. There's something very important about the bird, the peacock. I mean, I know in African traditions, that's Oshun, which is the divine feminine. But peacock could have some symbolism for you. Let me read what it says. This card is from the Angels and Ancestors deck. The message here: be willing to go the whole road and back again. This will allow you to be the best that you can possibly be. The sage represents the wise one within. When this card arises, it shows that you are preparing to become great and an insightful teacher to your peers. It guides you to take notes, as the wandering yogi is on the card, because your knowledge and your life experiences can impart incredible insights to those with whom you come into contact. This card is also about observation and becoming more aware of who you are and of all your inner workings, because this awareness can bring more clarity to your decisions. Devotion is a powerful energy. Right now, angels and ancestors want you to acknowledge how committed you are to your growth. Your continued dedication to this aspect of life has been recognized, and you being understanding that you are not only a body, but you're also a soul that needs continuously to grow and expand. For some of you here, this grandfather is talking about your purpose. And this grandfather is saying, I'm not necessarily talking about your work, your job. I'm talking about your purpose. And this grandfather says, you might be a little bit younger who's listening to this. It doesn't mean that you're a child or a teenager. You could be a young adult. But they're saying it's time for you to drop into your purpose. It's time for you to prepare for your purpose. And his grandfather's saying, there's multiple grandfathers here in this group, and they're saying you're not necessarily very young. I mean, you could be in your 30s, 40s. I don't consider those old ages at all. But this grandfather is saying that this is about your purpose. They have something to tell you about your purpose. They want you to be more committed to it. There's something, group number 3, that you do that is uniquely you, they're saying. That might be writing for some of you. What your grandfather has a message for you. What is the message, grandfather? What is your message? You are noticing changes within yourself. It's because you are leaving the old version of yourself behind. You are elevating and shedding unnecessary layers. Old cycles are ending and new ones are beginning, and they're on the horizon. You deserve this new chapter in your life. So this grandfather is saying, for whoever's listening, new things are coming into your life, and it is necessary for you to stop trying to hold on to what is old and what is leaving, because there are new I'm hearing new adventures for you, new paths for you to take. And for some of you, you're clinging to something that you really need to release. This grandfather is saying there's not much more that you can gain from this current path. I really get that this is like a job career for somebody. Like maybe this was something your parents wanted you to do, this grandfather is saying, but you have a purpose. And this grandfather acts like you know what that purpose is. So that's interesting. This grandfather, the energy of this grandfather is saying, you know what this purpose is. It's the thing that you have been saying to yourself, you may not be good enough at. Wow, for some of you, it might be dancing. It might be some kind of movement. For others of you, it has to do with following your instinct, really. This grandfather has a lot of messages here. There's something very shadowy about you not leaning into your purpose. This grandfather says, yeah, you're a performer, you're an actor. That is so interesting, you all. You are a performer, you're an actor. There's something about you being in the arts. Your grandfather's saying, not in tech. Your grandfather's like, no, there's a shadowy part of you having to make a decision based solely on some kind of like status or money. Your grandfather's saying, wow, you are really great at whatever artistic thing you do. I really do think some of you are great dancers, artists, writers. There's something in the creative field that you do, and your grandfather's like, it's time. It's time for you to lean into this all the way. It's time for you, because I think this grandfather is saying that your current job, your current career, it's leaving, it's changing, it's really dissolving. For some of you, maybe, I don't know, this is so specific, but maybe AI is taking over your job. I don't know. But your grandfather's like, now is the time to get to your purpose. Back to your purpose. This grandfather wants to communicate with you. They say they have things they want you to write about if you are a writer. I love that. They're like, I have stuff to say. I have things that maybe this grandfather wants to do a memoir. I don't know. That's just so funny. But this grandfather's like, no, you have talents. You have skills. You are indeed a visionary with your art, with your movement, with your performance. This grandfather says, hey, I am not saying this because you are my blood. And I am saying this because you are my blood. They're hella funny. They're like, you are good. You're very good. You're beyond good. You will see great success in your arts. This grandfather said, I may have had to transition and really realize, being in the spirit realm, what is true. And what is true is your purpose, group number 3. You're a visionary when it comes to whatever creativity you have. You're none like no other, your grandfather is saying. There is no one who is even thinking about doing the things that you have done or getting ready to do. Wow. There is one more card here. Oh yeah, I didn't miss this. But, we got it back. So this grandfather has another message for you. Yeah, this grandfather really has given you your flowers already. They're like, you're good. You're so good. This grandfather says it's time for you to awaken. Listen to your intuition. The answer is within you. Reconcile your mind and your heart and let your spirit lead. Your grandfather is like, There's nothing greater on this earth than to realize your purpose, because that purpose is going to take you far. Look at this. It's like your grandfather is saying, the spirit world has given you this beautiful stack of knowledge and wisdom. Some of you are writers, some of you are authors, but some of you are researchers. Whatever you do, group number 3, do you see all these skulls here at the bottom? Your ancestors really hold you in this creativity. They will help you. This grandfather is saying, we will help you. We will help you bring your talents and skills to light. I'm sorry for the it just, it's turning dark here, so there might be a little reflection, but I'll try to hold up. But your grandfather is saying here, group number 3, now is the time. Do not sit on this talent, because it is directly linked to your purpose. Last few messages from this grandfather. Yeah, 3 of Cups in reverse. 10 of Cups upright. Wow. Grandfather said to take it upright. Your life is about to change, your grandfather said. You have the Tower in reverse. It's not going to be that, crumbling down kind of change, but it is going to change. Especially when it comes to the work you do. I think you may have been too influenced by a peer group that is no longer aligned with you. And really your happiness, your ultimate happiness, 10 of Cups upright, that happiness that will really make you truly happy, I'm hearing from this grandfather, in your bone, is your purpose. And it's going to lead you to be a great star. You have 6 of Wands. It's going to lead you to great victory. But you need to be brave enough, this grandfather is saying, to pursue this path. I think you finally know that other people's dreams, other people's aspirations, this grandfather is saying, were never yours. You just adopted them. You put your talents and skills to the side because, you had to prove that you were worthy to make money or, reach some kind of high position. But your grandfather is saying, now, I don't know how they know, but this grandfather says, now that your purpose will make you far happier than any kind of pushing paper kind of job. Wow. Is there anything else, grandfather? No, this grandfather says that is it. They want you to, once again, be very devoted to yourself. Be very devoted and committed to your purpose. Because this grandfather is saying that is where you're going to find true happiness. That will be this in the end, that 10 of Cups. And really the residual is you are going to glow up. you are going to glow up. Your grandfather's like, I told you, I'm not just saying it. You're very good at what you do. I love that. Your grandfather is so in your corner. And your grandfather is saying, I will continue to be in your corner. Even when you take the most scary step, which is to get back on the path of your purpose. So that's what I have for you, my honeys, my beloveds. This was a very deep reading, and thank you to those who reminded me, let's do the grandfathers next, and I'm glad we did. The grandfathers were really talking in this reading. So, my darlings, my beloveds, please consider giving a thumbs up if you resonated with any or all of this reading. What would group number 3 put a star in the comments if this was your reading, because I think that's what you're moving towards, is stardom. And like I said, if you haven't subscribed yet and you feel like you want to stay connected to me as a reader, as a seer, please do so. I invite you to do so. And I appreciate you all. Until our next reading. Thank you.